Nuclear war. The mere mention of these words sends chills down the spine. The very words conjure images of unimaginable destruction, cities reduced to rubble, and lives shattered in an instant. It's a threat unlike any other, capable of ending civilization as we know it. The sheer scale of devastation is almost beyond comprehension. The consequences of such a conflict are staggering, impacting not only the present but also casting a long shadow over the future. The fallout would affect generations to come. Understanding the full scope of a nuclear war is crucial, however difficult it may be to contemplate. Scientists and researchers dedicate their lives to studying these effects. From the immediate devastation to the lingering effects, knowledge is the first step towards preparedness. Learning survival techniques and understanding the potential aftermath can save lives. While we hope such an event never comes to pass, we must be ready to face this potential threat. Preparing emergency kits and practicing drills are essential steps. The purpose of this exploration is not to instill fear, but to empower. Knowledge and preparation can turn fear into action. By understanding the nature of nuclear war and taking practical steps to prepare, we can increase our chances of survival and navigate the aftermath. Community efforts and family preparedness are key. Remember, even in the face of such immense destruction, the human spirit is resilient. History has shown us that people can rebuild and recover. By preparing for the worst, we hold on to the hope for a future beyond the ashes. Planting the seeds of recovery today ensures a brighter tomorrow. Imagine a blinding flash, brighter than 1,000 suns. This is not just any light, it is the harbinger of unimaginable destruction. This is the initial indication of a nuclear detonation, a force so powerful that it alters the very fabric of reality, the very air turning to fire, igniting everything in its path and creating an inferno that consumes all. A shockwave follows, ripping through buildings and shattering glass with the force of a hurricane. The sheer power of this wave is enough to flatten entire city blocks. The heat is intense, vaporizing anything in its immediate vicinity. Metal melts, concrete crumbles, and human life is extinguished in an instant. This is the immediate aftermath of a nuclear explosion. A once vibrant landscape is now a desolate wasteland. Cities, once bustling with life, are reduced to rubble in an instant. The infrastructure that took decades to build is annihilated in seconds. The blast radius of a single weapon can span miles, leaving behind a trail of utter devastation. Entire communities are wiped off the map. Fires rage uncontrolled, fueled by the debris and the intense heat. These fires can burn for days, adding to the chaos and destruction. The air itself becomes thick with dust and smoke, choking those who manage to survive the initial blast. Breathing becomes a struggle as the toxic air fills their lungs. The ground trembles as shock waves continue to ripple outwards, a stark reminder of the destructive power unleashed upon the world. These shock waves can be felt miles away, a testament to the explosion's far-reaching impact. In the aftermath, a deafening silence falls, broken only by the crackling of flames and the cries of the wounded. The world is forever changed, marked by the scars of this catastrophic event. While the blast and firestorm are the most immediate threats, the dangers of a nuclear explosion extend far beyond the initial impact. An invisible killer lurks in the aftermath: radiation. Radiation is released in vast quantities during a nuclear detonation. Invisible and odorless, it penetrates the body silently, damaging cells and DNA. The effects may not be immediately apparent, but they are insidious and deadly. Exposure to high levels of radiation can lead to radiation sickness, a debilitating condition with symptoms ranging from nausea and vomiting to severe burns and organ failure. Long-term exposure can result in an increased risk of cancer and other health problems. The threat of radiation persists long after the initial explosion. Radioactive particles, known as fallout, can be carried by wind currents for hundreds of miles, contaminating water supplies, crops, and the very air we breathe. In the wake of a nuclear explosion, the surrounding area becomes a fallout zone, a desolate landscape contaminated by radioactive particles. The danger of fallout lies in its persistence. Unlike the immediate effects of the blast, radiation can linger for days, weeks, or even years, posing a long-term threat to human health. The intensity and duration of fallout depend on various factors, including the size of the weapon, altitude of the detonation, and weather patterns. Wind can carry radioactive particles far beyond the blast zone, contaminating areas hundreds of miles away. Living in a fallout zone requires taking extreme precautions to minimize exposure. Sheltering in place, preferably underground, is crucial during the initial fallout period. Remaining indoors, sealing doors and windows, and consuming only uncontaminated food and water are essential for survival. Section 5. A World in Shadows, Nuclear Winter. Beyond the immediate devastation and lingering radiation, a nuclear war could trigger a catastrophic global climate event known as nuclear winter. This chilling phenomenon arises from the massive amounts of smoke and soot injected into the atmosphere by multiple nuclear detonations. The thick smoke cloud would block out sunlight, plunging the Earth into a prolonged period of darkness and cold. Temperatures could plummet below freezing, even during the summer months. Photosynthesis would cease, leading to widespread crop failures and ecological collapse. The consequences of nuclear winter would be devastating for all life on Earth. Global famine, disease, and societal breakdown would likely follow. The delicate balance of our planet's ecosystems would be irrevocably disrupted, potentially leading to a mass extinction event. Section 6. The Collapse of Civilization. The combined effects of nuclear war blast damage, radiation, fallout, and nuclear winter would cripple our interconnected world. The intricate web of trade, communication, and transportation would collapse, leading to widespread chaos and societal breakdown. Governments would struggle to maintain order, their resources overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the disaster. Hospitals, already overwhelmed by casualties from the initial blasts, would be ill-equipped to handle the surge of radiation sickness and other long-term health problems. Food and water shortages would become rampant, leading to widespread famine and social unrest. The rule of law would erode, replaced by desperation and survival instincts. The very fabric of civilization, painstakingly built over centuries, would unravel in the aftermath of nuclear war. Section 7. Shelter in the storm. In the face of such a catastrophic event, what can we do to protect ourselves and our loved ones? While no guarantee of survival exists, taking practical preparedness measures can significantly increase our chances of weathering the storm. The first and most crucial step is seeking shelter immediately after a nuclear detonation. The ideal shelter is an underground bunker specifically designed to withstand the blast, heat, and radiation. However, in the absence of such a facility, any basement or underground structure can provide some level of protection. When selecting a shelter, consider its distance from potential targets and its structural integrity. Reinforce existing basements with sandbags, concrete blocks, or other heavy materials to provide additional shielding from radiation. Ensure adequate ventilation and stock the shelter with essential supplies. Section 8. Your lifeline, the emergency kit. In times of crisis, preparation is key. In the aftermath of a nuclear war, access to essential resources will be limited or non-existent. Supermarket shelves will be empty, and the infrastructure we rely on will be in ruins. Having a well-stocked emergency kit can mean the difference between life and death. It is your first line of defense against the harsh realities of a post-nuclear world. Your kit should contain enough supplies to sustain you and your family for at least 72 hours, preferably longer. Essential items include water, at least 1 gallon per person per day. This is crucial for hydration and basic hygiene. Food, non-perishable items such as canned goods, energy bars, and dried fruit. These will provide the necessary calories and nutrients. First aid kit, a comprehensive kit with bandages, antiseptics, pain relievers, and any necessary medications. This will help you manage injuries and illnesses. Radiation meter to monitor radiation levels and guide your movements. Knowing the radiation levels can help you avoid dangerous areas. Battery-powered radio to receive emergency broadcasts and stay informed. Information is vital for making safe decisions. Flashlight and extra batteries for illumination in the event of power outages. Light can also be used for signaling. Dust masks and plastic sheeting to protect against fallout contamination. These items can help you create a safer environment. Store your emergency kit in a cool, dry place that is easily accessible. Regularly check and update its contents to ensure everything is in working order. Familiarize yourself and your family with its contents and ensure everyone knows where it is located. Practice using the items in your kit so that you are prepared when an emergency strikes. Section 9. Hope in the face of Armageddon. Confronting the potential of nuclear war is a sobering exercise, forcing us to confront the fragility of our existence. Yet, even in the face of such immense destruction, we must not succumb to despair. Hope, as they say, springs eternal. By understanding the consequences of nuclear war and taking practical steps to prepare, we empower ourselves to protect our loved ones and increase our chances of survival. Knowledge is power, and in this case it could be the key to our continued existence. Let us strive for a future where the horrors of nuclear war remain confined to the realm of imagination. Let us work tirelessly towards peace, diplomacy, and the elimination of these weapons of mass destruction. The fate of humanity may very well depend on it.